Good morning, students. ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ? Suraj, my voice is audible, right?
Yes, ma'am, audible, ma'am.
Okay. So from today we are going to start the uh, software testing subject. So from today I'm going to handle this subject, that is introduction to software testing. Since it is a elective subject and the other four subjects we are regularly attending, right, from September 1st itself. And since we have received the notification regarding the conduction of parallel classes during the second week of October, and that's why we are starting late. Okay, so introduction to software testing I'm going to handle, and one more elective subject is there for you people, right? That is .NET, and that will be handled by the Aisha madam. After my class, she is going to engage the class, right? So first, before starting the actual classes, first we'll look into the actual syllabus. So the title of the subject is Introduction to Software Testing, and once again it is total for 100 marks, 40 marks internal marks, and the 60 marks is the external marks. And as usual, here the subject consisting of 5 modules: module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4, and module 5. Same thing, but examination pattern and that we don't know, because since we are conducting the online classes, and once the VTU announces about the conduction of the exams and what is the syllabus and all, that we'll discuss later. But here today we are going to mainly concentrating on actual syllabus. Then we'll start with some of the basic definitions. Okay, so the module 1 consisting of the basics of software testing. So in this chapter, we are going to study about the basic definition of testing, what is testing, and why do we require the testing, and what are the different terminologies comes under testing, that you are going to study in basic definitions. And after that you are going to study about the software quality. How will you assign, or how will you check the software quality with the help of the testing, that you are going to study. And afterwards you are going to study about the requirements for the testing. So when, if you want to perform the testing, what are the basic requirements we need, that you are going to study. Next you are going to study about the behavior and correctness. What is correctness, what is behavior, definition you are going to study. Next you are going to study about the comparison of correctness and reliability. You know what, you first you are going to study about correctness and then reliability, then we are comparing what is correctness and reliability. Next you are going to study about testing and debugging. So testing definition you are going to study in the first stage itself. After that you are going to study debugging. What is debugging and why we are performing the debugging, and what are the uses of debugging, that you are going to study. Next you are going to study about the test cases. Next, insights from a Venn diagram. So here for the testing we are going to use the Venn diagram. And next you are going to study about identifying test cases. Means if you want to perform the testing, we need the test cases. So they are the central part of the testing process. So before testing starts, first we need to define the set of test cases, that you are going to study. Next you are going to study about different test generation strategies, test metrics, error and fault taxonomies. Means the classification of errors and faults, that you are going to study. Next you are going to study about different levels of testing, and finally you are going to study about testing and verification, finally the statics testing. So here three books are prescribed for the introduction to software testing. The first book is, here it is there, first book is Paul C. Jorgensen. The title of the book is Software Testing, a Craftsman Approach, and that is available in the library. You can take that book. And one more book is Maro Fezzi, Michael Eng, that is the who is the author of that book, and the title of the book is Software Testing and Analysis, Process, Principles and Techniques. And the third book is Foundation of Software Testing by Aditya P. Mathur. All three books are available in the library, so you can take that, and most of the topics are covered from textbook 1 and textbook 2. Understood? Most of the topics are covered from textbook 1 and textbook 2. You can do one thing, you can take the textbook 1 and 2 from the library, and since very less syllabus is covered from the third textbook, that you can xerox it. Okay, so major modules or major topics of all the modules are covered from textbook 1 and textbook 3. You can see that in the first chapter, that is basics of software testing. Here we are you are going to study from the textbook 3 and textbook 1. So first chapter 1 of textbook 1 and chapter 1.2 to 1.5 from textbook 3. And the remaining topics you can see here. Now most of the topics are from textbook 1 and the textbook 2. Here also textbook 1, textbook 2 and textbook 1 and textbook 2. So very few topics are covered from textbook 3 that you can xerox it, and most of the topics are covered from textbook 1 and textbook 2. Those two books are available in the library, you can take it. So as I said, from the in the first module you are going to study about basics of software testing. There you are going to study about the basic definitions, requirements, behavior correctness, reliability, and then different testing cases, test generation strategies, Venn diagram, taxonomies, levels of testing, verification, and testing and verification. So all these you are going to study in the first module. And in the second module, you are going to study about the problem statement and functional testing. So these topics are taken from the textbook 2 and textbook 1. So the chapter 2, chapter 5, chapter 6 and chapter 7 from textbook 1 and chapter 3 from textbook 2. Okay, so in this module, first we'll start with problem statements. So here you are going to study about the generalized pseudocode, the triangle problem, the next date function, the commission problem, then the simple automatic tiller machine problem that you are going to study. And so what is the major thing here is they will give the examples like this ATM machine or the currency converter or windshield wiper. There we are performing the different testing actions, then you are obtaining the solutions. Or first you're going to study those examples and you're identifying what are the faults or what are the mistakes, then and to find that we are going to employ the different test cases, then finally you will come to the conclusion. So those things you are going to study in the problem statement. Problem statements means there we are considering the different examples for the testing purpose. Okay, next you are going to study about functional testing. In functional testing, you are going to study about boundary value analysis, robustness testing, worst case testing, then robust to worst testing for triangle problem, next date problem, and commissional problem, equivalence classes, equivalence test cases for the triangle problem. Next, you are going to study about the next date function and the commission problem. Next, you are going to study about the guidelines, observations, decision tables, and what are the different test cases for the triangle problem. Then you're going to study about the guidelines and observations. So all these topics you're going to study in module 2. And how many chapters you have to study? 4 chapters from textbook 1 and 1 chapter from textbook 2. Next one is the module 3. In module 3 you're going to study about fault based testing and structural testing. Once again, these topics are taken from the textbook 1 and textbook 2. From textbook 1, 9th and 10th chapter, and from textbook 2, 2 chapters 12 and 16. So here in module 3 you're going to study about assumptions in fault based testing, mutation analysis, fault based adequacy criteria, variation on mutation analysis, and next we'll go for the structural testing. There you're going to study about the statement of the testing, branch testing, condition testing, means the different structural testing strategies you are going to study in the structural testing chapter. Next, you're going to study about the test coverage matrix, basis path testing, guidelines and observations, data flow testing, definition use testing, slide based testing, guidelines and observations. So these topics you're going to study in module 3. Next, we'll move on to module 4. So in module 4, we are mainly concentrating on execution of the test cases. So once again, here you are going to study the three topics, that is test execution, process framework, planning and monitoring the process. So in the test execution, you are going to study about overview of the test execution. Next, how to specify the test cases that you are going to study. Next, you are going to study about the scaffolding. Next, generic versus specific scaffolding, test oracle. Next, you are going to study about self checks as oracles. Next, capture and replay. All these things you are going to study in test execution chapter. Next comes the process framework. Here you are going to study about the basic principles of the sensitivity, redundancy, restriction, partition, visibility, feedback. And next you are going to study about the planning and monitoring, on what are the quality goals, dependability properties, analysis testing, improving the process and organizational factors. And finally you're going to study about planning and monitoring the process. So here we are going to study about the what is a quality, and what is the process, and what is the process required for testing the any product by using the different test cases. Next, you are going to study about the different analysis strategies and plans. Next is the risk planning, monitoring the process, and then improving the process, and then what is the quality team. So these things you are going to study in module 4, and the topics are taken from textbook 2, and the chapters are 17 and 20. So two chapters you're going to study in module 4 from textbook 2. Next we'll move on to the module 5. So in module 5, you're going to study about the integration and component based software testing. So in this module, you're going to study about what is the integration testing and what are different integration testing strategies, testing components and assemblies. And you're going to study about the regression testing and what is system testing, acceptance testing, and the usability. So you're going to study different testing techniques here. So those are the regression techniques, system testing, acceptance testing, and then usability. And finally, you're going to study about a regression test selection techniques, test case prioritization, and selective execution. So these things you are going to study in the integration and component based software testing. And the last topic of module 5 is levels of testing and integration testing. So here you are going to study the traditional view of the testing levels and the different testing levels, and what are the alternate life cycle models are available for testing. And next you are going to study about the example of automatic teller machine, and next separating integration and system testing. Next you are going to study about the in detail study of the automatic teller machine, and then decomposition based, call graph based, and path based integration testing techniques. Those things you are going to study in the levels of testing and integration testing chapters. So here, and these topics are taken from textbook 1 and textbook 2. From textbook 1, you're going to study chapter 12 and 13, and from textbook 2, chapter 21 and 22. So, as I said earlier, most of the topics are taken from the textbook 1 and textbook 2, and only in the first module few topics are taken from textbook 3, that you can xerox it, because very less syllabus is there from textbook 3. Okay, so the prescribed textbook, the question paper pattern, you know, right? 10 questions will appear in the question paper, and 2 questions from each module. Then previously that you have to answer at least 1 question from each module. but this time we don't know the pattern, we leave it here. But we are mainly concentrating on studying of all the modules. So the prescribed textbooks, as I said, 3 textbooks are there. One is software testing, a craftsman approach by Palsy Jurgensen, and second one is software testing and analysis process principles and techniques by Marofezi, and third textbook is Foundation of Software Testing by Aditya P. Mathur. As I said, from Aditya P. Mathur textbook, very less syllabus is taken, and from the first two textbooks, that is, one is Software Testing, a Craftsman approach, and second one is Software Testing Analysis. From these two textbooks, most of the contents are there, so you can get it from the library. So 5 reference books are also given. So if the topics covered from these textbooks are not sufficient, then we can look into the reference books. So okay, so this is about the syllabus. So today I'll start with the process of apply. Just a minute. We'll start the chapter, that is software testing. So this is the first topic of your first module. Okay, the first topic of your first module is basic definitions. So the software testing, the first chapter is a perfect perspective on testing. So the first chapter is a perspective on testing, and in this chapter you are going to study about the basic definitions. So this is the title of the first chapter, that is a perspective on testing. In this chapter you are going to study about the basic definition of testing. What is testing, why do we require testing, that you are going to study first. Next you are going to study about the test cases. What are the test cases, what are different test cases, and why do we require the test cases, that you are going to study. Next you are going to study about the insights from Venn diagram. What is Venn diagram and how it is useful in performing the testing process. Next you are going to study about identifying the test cases. So first you are going to study about the test cases, right? Next you are going to study about identifying the test cases. Here we are mainly concentrating on 2 types of testing, functional testing and structural testing. Next you are going to study about the taxonomies, error and fault taxonomies, and the last topic of the chapter is level of testing. Okay, so first we'll start with the basic definition of testing, or before that we'll see why do we go for testing. Is it really required? Why do we go for testing, or why the testing is necessary, and why we are performing the testing process, that we need to know. So whenever we are considering, or whenever you are writing something, or whenever you have developed something, let us consider that you have developed one app or some product you have developed, and that you cannot directly deliver to the user, right? So before delivering the to the user, you need to test that product, or you need to test that app, right? So why we are going for testing? Why do we go for testing? Or why we are performing the testing? So the main reason for performing the testing is to make a judgment, okay, is to make a judgment about the quality or the acceptability of your products. Okay, let us consider that you have developed one app. So before delivering to the user, we have to test it. So why you are testing that app? To check where to check the quality or the acceptability of the app that you have developed, right? Then once again, why we need to perform the testing on the developed app? To identify or to discover the problems in the developed app. Okay, to identify or to discover the problems in the developed app, we are going to perform the testing. So the main reason for testing is to make a judgment about the quality or the acceptability of the product, and also to identify or to discover the problems, we are performing the testing. So next we'll move on to the basic definitions of testing. So here some of the definitions are listed, or some of the basic definitions are listed. The first one is error, second one is the fault, and third one is the failure, and fourth one is the incident. Okay. So first one is the error, second one is the fault, third one is the failure, fourth one is the incident, fifth one is the test, and the sixth one is the test case. So these are the some of the definitions that comes in a testing process. So before performing the testing, we need to know what is an error, what is a fault, or what is a failure when the incident occurs, and what test we have to perform, and to perform the test, what are the test cases we have to consider. So these are the basic definitions in the testing process. So first we'll see what is a error or the mistake. So what is an error? What is an error? Basically, error is a mistake. Okay. What is an error? Error is a mistake. And when we are performing some task, or when we are writing some code, or when we are writing the programming things, then we'll do mistakes, right? We'll do mistakes or we'll make some errors. So you already experienced, like when you're writing the C programs, they obviously everybody will do the mistakes, right? You also done the mistake, or you also done the error or mistake may be anything. So and that is called as an error. So what is an error? Error is basically a mistake, and people makes the errors or people makes the mistakes while performing, or while performing the things, or while performing the functions, or while writing the code, or while doing some task, right? So mistake is what? Mistake is something that we have done while writing the program, or while doing some work. And here we are considering while coding. Okay, while coding or while writing the program, we'll make the mistakes or the errors. So people make mistakes while coding, right? People make mistakes while coding, and these mistakes we call it as bugs. Okay, these mistakes we call it as bugs, or the errors are called as bugs. Bugs are what? Bugs are nothing but the mistakes. So while writing the code, or while performing some functions or some work, we'll do mistakes, and these mistakes are called as bugs. Next, what are fault? Okay, what is a fault? Fault is a result of an error. So first, what is an error? Error is a mistake. Means while writing the code, we will do the mistakes or the errors, and the fault is the result of that error. Okay. So fault is also called as the defect, and when it occurs, it is the result of an error. Okay, fault is a result of an error. We have two types of faults. One is called as the fault of omission, and other one is called as the fault of commission. So what is fault of omission and fault of commission? Fault of omission means, and our fault of omission occurs when, while writing the code, if you omit something, then the fault of omission occurs. I'll give one example. Best example is when you are writing the C programming. What is the first line you are going to write? That is writing, or you are including the header files, right? So suppose that is include stdio.h, right? And if you forgot to write that header file, so without writing the header file, okay, you directly written the code and you start executing it. So then failure occurs. Why? Because you not included the header file, and that is called as fault of omission. Fault of omission means you have forgotten to write or include the thing in the program, and that is called as fault of omission. Fault of commission means you have included or you have written the code, but while writing the code you have done the error or you have done the mistake. For example, I'll take the best example, same example only. Means including the header files. So there you have to include what? As include stdio.h. So while typing, if you makes an error, right, instead of stdio.h, simply if you include it as std.h, what happens? Even though you've included the error file, sorry, even though you've included the header file, but by mistake, instead of typing stdio.h, if you type it as std.h, then what happens? While executing, the failure occurs. What is the error or the mistake there? You wrongly written the header file name, and that is called as fault of commission. Fault of omission means something you've forgotten to writing it in the code, and fault of commission means you have written it in the code but in a wrong manner. Understood the difference between fault of omission and fault of commission? Any doubt in fault of omission? Fault of omission means you have not included that in the program, and fault of commission means you have included in the program but in a wrong way. That is called as fault of commission. So whether it is a fault of omission or fault of commission, but when you are executing such type of code, obviously failure occurs, right? Then what is a failure? A failure occurs when a fault executes, means uh, wrongly you have written included the header file name, then while executing the program it results in error, or it results in a failure of the execution of that program. So failure means what? Failure is nothing but the result which occurs when a fault executes. So here, the failures can occur only in an executable representation. That is, when you are executing the code, then the failure occurs in the executable representation, or we can say that in a precise manner that the fault, or sorry, the failure occurs in the loaded object code. Okay, so failure occurs in a executable representation, or failure occurs in the when in the form of loaded object code. Understood? So when the failure occurs, when we execute the fault statements, then the failure occurs, and the failure may be in the form of a executable representation or loaded object code. Okay. Then we'll see how to overcome the failure debugging, etc. So here we'll concentrate only on the definitions. Next comes the incident. What is incidents? What is incident? So when a failure occurs, okay, when a failure occurs, it may visible to the user or to the customer or to the programmer, we can say, right? So when the failure occurs, it may be visible to the user or it may not be visible to the user. And a incident, or we can say that an incident is the symptom associated with the failure. Understood? The incident is a symptom that is associated with the failure, and incident alerts users. Okay, incident alerts the user about the occurrence of a failure. Understood? So this incident, okay, understood, the incident is a symptom associated with the failure. Okay, incident is a symptom associated with the failure, and the incident alerts the user about the occurrence of the failure. Means when you execute the program, what happens? So see, wrongly you included the header file, then what happens? It leads to the failure of the execution of the program. Then what happens? Incidents means then it will display the error message, and that is called as an incident. Okay, so this incident may or may not be visible to the user, but it is a symptom associated with the failure, and it alerts the user about the occurrence of the failure. Next comes the test. So test obviously concerned with errors, faults, failures, and the incident. So then what is a test? A test is the act of exercising software with the test cases. So means what? We are continuously testing, means we are performing the exercises on the written programs with the help of the test cases. Okay, test is concerned with the errors, faults, failures, or the incident. Then what is a test? Test is the act of exercising. The definition for the test is, the test is the act of exercising software with the help of different test cases. And the test is having two different goals. One is to find the failures and to demonstrate the correct execution. Okay, these are the two distinct goals of the test. One is to find the failures and other one is to demonstrate the correct execution of the program. So if the program is correctly executed, you are going to get the output. If the program is incorrectly executed, you are going to get the output. So this is the so what is testing? A testing is the act of exercising software with test cases, and it is having the two goals. One is called as the, one is to find the failures and the other one is for correct execution. And next we'll move on to the test case. So what is a test case? The test case is having the identity and is associated with the program behavior. Suppose if I given the program for you people to write the summation of two integers. Okay, so when you're writing the program for adding two integer numbers, what is the input you have to give is, you have to give two integer numbers and you're getting the output in an integer form. So input is what? Entering the two numbers, and the output is getting the addition or sum of those two numbers. So there here we are defining the two test cases. What are those two test cases? We are giving the number, okay, integer number, then we are getting the result. So here the test case is the identity and is associated with the program behavior. Suppose if I ask to perform the addition of two floating point number, then you have to give the two floating point numbers as the input, then you are getting the corresponding output. So to test the behavior of the system, or to test the behavior of the whatever the program you are written, we are using the different test cases. So here we are having the because we are testing the written program or developed the life cycle of a product development, that is requirement specification. The first step is requirement specification, design, coding. After that we'll perform the testing, and next comes the different testing process, right? So if we consider here the testing life cycle, the first, in the first three stages here, at the requirement specifications, design and coding, and at these three stages there is a chances of occurrence of the errors, or that there is a chance that the fault may occur. Why? Because while getting the requirements, or while designing the product, or while coding the product or coding, there is a chance that the human makes errors, or there is a chance that the error may included during the requirement specification phase, design phase or coding phase. Obviously when the errors are occurred, that leads to the fault of the system. So the first three phases are mainly concentrate on including or putting in the errors into the different stages of the product development, and the central part of this testing life cycle is testing. This is the central part of the testing life cycle. So what is testing? We are performing the testing to identify the fault or the correct execution of the system. So once it is tested, next the faults or the errors are identified, and those errors are the faults we are classifying. Then we need to debug that so that the errors can be removed. So here in these three stages, we are putting the errors into the system, and in these three stages, we are getting out of the errors from the system. And hence, at the this stage, we are calling it as in means inputting the errors. Okay, and this stage we are calling it as outputting the errors. Why? Because inputting the errors means there is during the product development or design, there is a chance that the errors may include or errors may occur during the coding or the design phase. But once we perform the testing, we are identifying those faults, and these faults or errors are removed. That's why it is called as outing phase. In phase is this phase and out phase is this phase. Understood? Out means we are trying to get out of the errors which are occurred in the product. Okay, so that is hence it is called as the outing phase. So here in phase and the out phase. In phase means putting the errors or bugs into the system, and out phase is getting bugs out of the system. Here it is getting out of the bugs, here it is putting the bugs into the system. So this is about the testing the life cycle. And here in at the last stage, here it is, right, fault resolution. At the fault resolution stage, either the once again the errors may occur or we can fix those errors. Both the things are possible at the fault resolution. But here at the first stage, it is called as putting the bugs into the system, and here it is getting out of the bugs from the system. And this one is here the error, including the error is also possible, and getting out of the error is also possible. So this is about the testing life cycle. And when we are performing the different or when we are performing the testing process, these are the different phases we need to go through it. First one is test planning, second one is test case development, and third one is running test cases, and fourth one is evaluating test results. These are the four phases of testing process. First, we need to plan the test. Then, according to the planning, we have to develop the different test cases. And once the different test cases are defined and developed, we use those test cases for testing the system. And once that system is tested, we are getting the result, and those results are evaluated. So these are the four phases of the testing process. They may ask in the test or the exam that what are the different phases of the testing process: test planning, test cases, test development, running test cases, evaluating test results. These are the four phases that you need to explain. And in the exam or the test, they may also ask, write the life cycle of the testing process. If they ask to write it, then you have to write this life cycle, testing life cycle. Then you have to explain about this. So what is inputting the errors or putting bugs in, and next one is getting out of the bugs here. That also you have to explain. So in the next class, you are going to study about the different test cases. What are test cases, and how to develop the test cases, and what are the test cases we can have. We can study that with the example. Next, you are going to study about what is Venn diagram and why do we require the Venn diagram in testing process. That you are going to study next. Any doubt? Any doubt here? Suraj? Suraj? Sharanya? Any
No,
doubt?
ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Understood, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In the next class, we'll start with the different test cases and the Venn diagram. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Raghavendra? Any doubt? Sachin? Sachin? Okay,
No,
I'll
no.
stop. Yes, yes. Sachin?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
So I'll stop my session here. So we'll start it in the next class. Tomorrow I'm having the class at 11:15, right?